Okay, hello everyone. So the video stopped because this chapter is very long and it stops at 10 minutes. However, we're just going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. So when we left off, we were reading on page 20, and Jessie has just walked into the garage and she's wondering what they are doing. And she peers over and she sees this sign which says lemonade, 50 cents. So now we are on the top of page 21. Here goes. She said, "You spelled lemonade wrong. It's an O, not an I." But she thought, "Oh good, a lemonade stand. My favorite thing to do." The boys didn't say anything. Jessie saw Evan's mouth tighten up. "You want me to make the lemonade?" she asked. "Already made," said Evan. "I could decorate the sign," she said. "I'm good at drawing butterflies and flowers and things." Scott snorted. "We don't want girl stuff like that on our sign." "Do you want me to use my lockbox to keep the money in? It's got a tray with separate compartments for all the different coins." "Nope," said Evan, still working on the sign. "Well," she said, looking around, "I can clean the table for you." The small wooden table, still covered in black streaks, was pushed up against the bikes. "We're not using it," said Evan. "But we always use the table for a stand," said Jessie. Evan pushed his face in her direction. "We don't want it." Jessie took a couple of steps back. Her insides felt runny, like a fried egg that hasn't cooked enough. She knew that she should just go back into the house, but for some reason her legs wouldn't move. She stood still, her bare feet rooted to the cool cement. Scott whispered something to Evan, and the two boys laughed, low and mean. Jessie swayed toward the door, but her feet stayed planted. She couldn't stand it that Evan wanted to be with Scott, who was a real jerk, more than her. "Hey," she said, "I bet you need change. I've got a ton. You could have all my change, as long as you pay it back at the end of the day." "Don't need it," said Evan. "Yeah, you do," insisted Jessie. "You always need change, especially in the beginning. You'll lose sales if you can't make change." Evan capped the pen with a loud snap and stuck it in his pocket. "Scott's bankrolling us. His mom keeps a change jar, so we've got plenty." The boys stood up. Evan held the sign for Scott to read, turning his back on Jessie. "Awesome," said Scott. Jessie knew the sign was not awesome. The letters were too small and thin to be read from a distance. Evan should have used a fat marker instead of a skinny felt-tipped pen. Everybody knew that. There weren't any pretty decorations to attract customers. And the word lemonade was spelled wrong. Why wouldn't Evan take a little help from her? She just wanted to help. Scott turned to her and said, "Are you really going to be in the fourth grade this year?" Jessie's back stiffened. "Yup," she said. "Wow, that is so freaky." "It's not," she said, sticking her chin out. "It's too," said Scott. "I mean, you're a second grader, and now you're going to be a fourth grader. That's just messed up." Jessie looked at Evan, but he was busy taping the sign to the cooler. "Lots of people skip grades," said Jessie. "It's not that big a deal." "It's completely weird," said Scott. "I mean, you miss everything from a whole year. You missed the whole year on Antarctica, and that was the best." Sorry. "And the field trip to the aquarium. And the thing where we sent letters all over the country. Remember that, Evan? You got that letter from Alaska. That was so cool." Evan nodded, but he didn't look up. "It's not that big a deal," said Jessie again, her voice stretched tight like a rubber band. "It's like you missed a whole year of your life," Scott said. "It's like you're going to die a whole year earlier than the rest of us just because you never had a third grade." Jessie felt cold and hot at the same time. Part of her wanted to yell, "That doesn't make any sense," but the other part of her felt so freakish, like Scott had just noticed she had 3 legs. Evan stood up and tossed the paper bag to Scott. Then he grabbed the plastic chairs with one hand. "Come on, let's go." He reached down to grab one handle of the cooler. Scott grabbed the other, and together they lifted it and began to walk out of the garage. "Hey, Evan," said Jessie, calling to their backs. "Can I come too?" "No," he said without turning around. "Come on, please. I'll be a big help. I can do lots of things." "You're too young," he said sharply. "You're just a baby." The boys walked out. "You're just a baby." Jessie couldn't believe Evan had said that. After all the stuff they had done together. And he was only 14 months older than she was. Hardly even a full year. She was about to yell back something really harsh, something stinging and full of bite, like, "Oh yeah?" when she heard Scott say to Evan, "Man, I can't believe you have to be in the same class as your little sister. If that happened to me, I'd move to South America." "Yeah, tell me about it," replied Evan, crossing the street. The words died on Jessie's lips. She watched Evan walking away, getting smaller and smaller. He was deserting her. He wasn't going to stand by her at school. He wasn't going to smooth the way for her. He was going to be on the other side, with all of them, looking down on her, telling everyone that she was too young to be a part of the crowd, telling everyone that she didn't belong. "Fine for you, Evan Tresky," she said as she marched into the house, her fists balled up at her sides. "I don't need you. I don't need you to have fun. I don't need you to run a lemonade stand, and I don't need you to make friends in the 4th grade. Halfway up the stairs, she stopped and shouted, "And I am not a baby." Wow, that ended dramatically. I hope you guys enjoyed reading that chapter with me. Sorry for the interruption. This is Charlie, by the way. You guys, if you're reading this at night, have a great night. And I look forward to talking to you about how you guys like chapter 2. See you guys later.